Good morning, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to the Backpacktrader Training Room Crude Oil Inventory Report session for Wednesday, February 7th, 2024. Please note the required risk disclosure. This room is for educational and information purposes only. It is not to be considered individual financial advice. Results presented here are hypothetical and not necessarily typical. Trading of this type carries substantial risks and should only be attempted with funds you can afford to do without. All right, that is the end of our need for that today. We have crude on Spotlight on the left-hand chart. That'll be the one that I'm following the closest. On the right-hand side. Left-hand charts, upper left is unleaded on Spotlight. That's a 20-tick range bar or 0.002 momentum bar for TradeStation users. Lower right chart is crude 377 tick chart using counterpunch. And our bar size on the right side is the 8-cent momentum bar for TradeStation, 8-tick range for NinjaTrader. All right, 2 minutes plus to the inventory report coming out. We'll wait 2 minutes after the report comes out and then look for trades. 2 minutes to go. All right. Just about to come out. There it comes. I don't know, we were starting to get a reaction a little bit. That was in the micro YM. All right, report is out. Moving up so far. That is a reaction trade set up on the reaction to the report. I really want to see a new setup there. And let's see, where was our... Alright, there is our reaction range. Not very much. 73.56 to 73.91. Well, fair amount of movement just before the report came out, looking at the 377 tick chart. It's kind of bounced up and is going sideways there. And we are into our session. Especially considering it's been going sideways, I'm going to wait for a new setup. And that is a short setup on Spotlight that's filtered out by the crossover filter. 50 has just crossed above the 200, and we're not going to take a trade against the 50 until it has had a chance to stabilize a bit. We'll wait for at least 8 bars after the crossover. Note this magenta bar back here, that's indicating the 8th bar after this crossover. So we'll look for that magenta bar before we look to take another trade. Please do say hello again in the chat. Now that short would be a, let's see, is it? That's probably a valid get in sync, and that would be a one and done session for unleaded. Target 2 and trailing currently at 497. And that's a one and done for now for the there would be a trade That would have been our initial trade. And we did not get money management. So we stop and reverse into the long. That gets target 2, and that should get us. That's probably going to get us. That's going to get us positive. So unleaded and counterpunch both get it done, and we're still waiting, not taking that reaction trade. We're waiting for that one to finish out before picking up a new trade on our spotlight crude chart. So our entry here with the smaller trade would have been our trade. That setup was the last thing to set up. The risk on that was 14 ticks. But we go from an entry at 74 to an entry at 88. So 14 ticks down 28. We pick up 24 at target 2 and almost 20, so definitely positive on those two trades. Short trade too fast to catch. I'll make that an entry at 87. Get around the 20 SMA a little bit. That's our first trade, and that triggers in. Stop is in its proper place, so put the targets at target 1 and target 2. Coming down to the 50 EMA again. if you chose to take that first trade, it would have been a valid get in sync and would have had plenty of time to get your order in. That would have gotten target 2. That would have been 86. Or I'm sorry, you would have gotten target 1 for 20 ticks. And we would have gone 86 to 89. So 23 ticks net if you took that trade. Questions or comments while we wait to see if this one's going to work out? And back to the entry again. Notice we're right in the original reaction range. Top of the reaction range was 91. This trade is almost exactly the same size as the initial one, and it actually is a couple of ticks larger. And breaking down below the 200. Money management at 69, 68. 2 more ticks. So with money management, we need to go ahead and move the stop down to, I'll move it to 86. And there is, that's going to move to 83. And I'll go ahead and attach that. Right click the order. Attach to indicator. Use the trail indicator off the calculator, and now we're ready to let NinjaTrader trail it down. And of course it will only trail as long as there's a stop move to 77. It'll trail down until we hit target 2 or the stop, because that's the only remaining position. Down to 76, and it touched the target but didn't fill. Touched it again, going to, there it pushed through after all, so I didn't have to close it out manually. So we pick up 22 on target 1 and 35 on target 2, so 57, no, 55. You know, 58. Okay, yeah, less 2 ticks for the entry adjustment. So 56 ticks on the 2 positions. Trailer now at 71 if you're using a trailing position. You're quite welcome, Lynn. Just had to be patient on this one. Unless this closes down, looks like we're going to stay at 71 on the trailer. And it did push down, so we came down to 768. And look, the way it looked, it didn't need much because it was sitting with the balance line sitting at 69. It would have, or 67 rather. It would have key level adjusted back up to 71, but just one more tick down, and it came down to 68. Looks like 67 now on the close of this bar. And it did come down to 67. And we are down to the session open. We came to the session open at 73.43. But that actually ends our session. Nicely positive on one trade. All 3 charts being POQ. So unless there are questions, I will call it a morning, and we'll see everybody again at 9:30 tomorrow.